Neuroscientist and longevity expert Dr. Julia Jones says you can do that. And all it takes is some very simple habits which you can do at home. And she's here now. It's lovely to have you here this morning. So these ideas are all here in your book. This is the F-bomb, Longevity Made Easy, and it's out now. So the idea of this is kind of using latest technology combined with biological science, and it just sort of helps things get younger.
Yeah, it's just about habits, basically. Common sense habits that tap into our underlying biology. So they're known as biohacks. And we've packaged it as smart wellness. So things like using smart technology like this ring, and smart tests like these tests that we're going to be chatting about in a minute. But it's very much about how did our ancient selves used to live.
Well, I mean, you say we approach wellness, the way we approach wellness can significantly extend our lives. When do you start? If someone is in their 60s, 70s, and you hear about this, if you're sort of later in life, can you start doing it then?
Yeah, and within months, there is a significant change that you can have. And we are accelerating our biological aging speed because of the way we live in the modern world with our lifestyles. But you can still enjoy the modern world by just making a few tiny habit changes that do slow your biological aging rate. So it's about aging healthily. So adding 20 years of healthy life, because you don't want an extra 20 years of
unhealthy,
poor health.
Well, let's talk about some of the habits that you're talking about, because they're relatively simple, actually, aren't they? Some of them. First of all, not eating breakfast until 11 a.m. Why is that a good thing?
Just to give our system a rest. So try and leave 16 hours overnight fasting, and then eat within an 8-hour period. And a lot of research now is showing that we're just eating too often. We're eating the wrong things, obviously, but we're eating too often. So to give your digestive system a rest and let other cellular pathways and important housekeeping processes kick in can help reset those cells.
Okay.
And alcohol before bedtime is also a big no-no.
Well, it disrupts your sleep. So, I'm a big fan of alcohol when drunk well and responsibly. But if you drink too close to bedtime, then it messes up your sleep, which is a crucial pillar of aging and wellness. So, if you're going to drink, then try and stop drinking a few hours before bedtime.
Well, you say 3 hours, don't you?
Well, preferably. That's there is studies do show that leaving that 3-hour window can help ensure that you go into deep sleep, a high quality sleep that is regenerative and restorative.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Persevere with fermented foods such as kombucha and kimchi.
Yeah, well, I used to hate the idea of this, but it's full of bacteria.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've had lots of guests on here talking about the importance of probiotics and live bacteria.
Lots.
So just having sauerkraut, kimchi, kombuchas,
Kombucha's
yogurt.
the drink.
Yeah, fermented tea.
It's like a fermented tea. So Would you
Some of them taste horrible, don't they?
A little bit vinegary.
They have changed a lot. I used to also think that, Phil, but they are, I've just opened a smart wellness centre in Folkestone where I'm based, and we've got 30 different types of kombucha in there, and they are all delicious, all different flavours. They're like sparkling drink.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Music is an important one. I've never heard this before. So loud music, actually.
Yeah. Well, any music. I mean, it depends what you're trying to do. So if you're trying to sleep, then calming music, but also if you're trying to build new brain cells throughout life, which is called neuroplasticity, then learning a musical instrument is one of the best ways to do that.
Even at any age?
Yeah, any age. I'm learning to play lead guitar like Jimi Hendrix right now. That's my brain challenge at the moment. It's difficult, but it's a real, you build new brain connections. Yeah. Learning a musical instrument and learning a language are the two things that are shown to really help build new brain connections.
This is why Tony Blackburn looks so good. I mean, he's on today. He's nearly 80 and looks great. He's been listening to loud music his whole life.
Oh yes.
Well, look at all the artists touring. Like the Rolling Stones are still touring. Paul McCartney's still touring. Music.
What does that do biologically then? Because people say I don't understand why that does. What does loud music do?
So, it's not necessarily the volume, but the ears lead to the brain. So every sound wave triggers electrochemical responses in the brain that either have a positive or a negative effect. So if you are able to control what goes in there by selecting the right music at the right time of day, whether you're trying to focus at work or you're trying to go to sleep. You think about a baby, right? If you're trying to send someone to sleep, you use soothing music. You don't yell at them. It's soothing. So using sound to do that is very effective.
Eat 30 different plants each week.
Yeah, so this is
Sounds huge.
It does sound huge, and but if you think about mixing things, you could have mixed nuts on a kefir, for instance. So that's fermented kefir's got bacteria in it, and you could have different 4 or 5 different types of seeds on a yogurt. It's that diversity that we're missing, because over the generations we have lost gut diversity because we eat processed foods, and if we eat vegetables, I'll have carrots and peas.
I quite often eat the same things.
It's the
I like
same
my
thing
things that I like.
We're creatures of habit, and that's why it's all about. If you can make tiny tweaks to your habits, then they become your forever normal. You don't have to think about it.
This is all helping gut health. And gut health, the way you listen to you writing about gut health, that is vital.
Absolutely, it's the core pillar. Like everything we put in, we are what we eat.
And you can test how good your gut health is with one of these tests that you've got in front of us. What do these do? I mean, they do all sorts of things.
So these are different biomarkers. So some of these are biological age, but I highly recommend that people get data about their internal workings. Because data, knowledge is power. If you know what's going on inside, and some of these are really easy. There's a stool test, so you just send a bit of poop off to our lab to see what bacteria you've got going on in there, so you can help build it up, especially after the antibiotics, which a course of antibiotics wipes it out. So that's an easy one. Biological age tests, we've got also either a finger prick test, or you could do a saliva test that shows you how fast you're aging. And a lot of my clients, they're physically fit.
Know.
Yes. Have you not done this, Holly?
No.
Well, we need to do it. We need to know your biological ages. Why have we
It's going to happen anyway,
not done this?
It's going to happen anyway.
But what you're saying is, if you know, you can do something to change it.
And you can make, even within sort of 3 to 6 months,
you'd be surprised.
Slight changes, you'd be surprised how that slows you.
There are so many other things we haven't even got to. The exercise, running really fast, sort of getting yourself really out of puff for a second is better than maybe being on a treadmill for 45 minutes. Cold showers, that whole Wim Hof sort of thing, showing gratitude. Everything is here inside the book. It's fascinating. Thank you.
And it's easy. So I really, really hope that people start switching to this way of thinking.
How quickly would you notice a difference if you adopted? You can't do them all at once, but if you changed it, the way you're living,
within a week.
Wow.
Honestly, it's, and then the hard part is keeping going. So I'm launching a habit coaching club on Valentine's Day, because the hardest part is making it permanent. So it's much easier if you're doing it with groups of people and trying to do it solo.
Down a little bit.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.